Right now in our world and here in the United States, but this is going on throughout the world. People are really struggling with their realities, and there are volatile situations happening all over the place. And this is a time to remember who you are. Remember that you are here on earth to represent the exact perfection that you are, and that is love. You are an energy that has chosen to be here to help bring things about. And what I mean about bringing things about is a new way of showing up in our world. 20 years ago, it's not like it is today in 2026. It's it's not even close. I mean, actually there are similarities when I think about it, but it's something different right now. And I'm feeling it as well as many, many others. And I just I feel like after my near-death experience, where I couldn't understand why I had to watch the life reviews that I did, the atrocities and horrors that have happened in our world, I now am going, okay, all right, I see what happened. And the common thread throughout each one of these horrors was that people were silenced. And being silenced means you're being erased. And we have seen this with the Native Americans. We have seen this with everybody, and the blacks and the whites, depending on, let's see, what year we're talking about and who the whites are. And everybody is being directly affected. And I think right now is a time to step beyond the the tragedy of knowing what our history has been and just hold everything and say, ah, okay, I need to require of myself to think outside of the box of what I have been raised to believe, of what I have been told, of what I learned growing up, which is raised to believe, but it also means within the communities, the churches, the societies of, outside friends or events. It's like we have to rethink everything right now. We really have to rethink and show up differently in our world. It requires us to have forgiveness. And forgiveness is not easy. I know because I held on to resentment and anger for many years of my life until I didn't. But that took work. And that took work to understand that acceptance is synonymous with love. I wasn't accepting or condoning the situations and circumstances that I had experienced or that others have experienced. What I began to understand was how we, as an individual and as an individual soul, signed up to reincarnate in our life to correct energy of our previous lives. This gets really, I mean, I know this is like, what? What are you talking about? I didn't understand any of this before my near-death experience or my out-of-body experiences, but I am working on putting a structure together in my current book that I'm working on, Structure of Love. And it is about understanding why our energy has to be corrected. And we look at it as a gift. All of this that's happening really truly is our gift. It's it's horrific. And the individuals throughout the world that are being used as the lambs to give of themselves in order to get the rest of our attention is absolutely awful. However, there is no such thing as death. So I know this because of my near death experience. And before the last near death experience I had, I believed that there was, it was just when you're done on this life, you die and then you're buried. That's it. I didn't think anything beyond that. But now I know that no one ever dies. Energy can never die. So, getting back to those who have given their lives for all of us witnesses in this world to look at the situations and say, oh, wait a second, love is not happening in any of this. Where is their kindness? Where are people being respectful to one another? And yes, we are seeing respect happening for others. I'm watching it here in the United States, but that's not, it's not happening everywhere. And yet it is happening everywhere. This is a big one. But I really feel that all of us, however we are showing up every day, to continue to support one another, even if it's just sharing, like I'm doing right now, just sharing our feelings with one another and listening, because we all have to be heard. And I go back to my conversation with Jesus in heaven. And when he asked me what I was still struggling with, I told him, you know, it was my childhood. It was all of the abuse. It was this and this and this. And he said, Megan, what if I were to tell you that every experience in your life is a child within you? What would you do to those children? And immediately I said, evict them. They're old enough and they can take care of themselves. And that's where I was 18 years ago, mentally and emotionally. That's what I understood then. And now I look at that whole experience and every experience that I have learned of and had myself, I look at everything as an opportunity for me to listen differently, for me to show up and not have an opinion, but also to, and when I say not have an opinion, in other words, if somebody can't see the full context of what I feel, I'm not pushing that individual aside and disregarding them and their feelings, because too many have been doing this. We've been doing this for thousands of years. And there is this deep need for everyone's suffering to be heard and acknowledged. And until we get to the understanding, like I learned with Jesus when he asked me, again, we had to go through a conversation. And he said, Megan, so now hearing this again, what would you do to the children inside of you? Except keep in mind, every child is you. And that was it. I have never forgotten this moment because, oh man, it just hit me hard. I had to learn in that moment, I needed to parent myself because I can't look to another to parent me the way in which I need. I couldn't. And so taking that from my experience, I've had to still apply that information for myself in my life. And this is what we're all with, right? We all have this responsibility to ourselves because we came through our parents, but that's not why we are here. We are actually a reflection of what they gave us, and then the correction of perhaps what they gave us, or not correction, perhaps an advancement of. We have a responsibility. And I show up now as I told Jesus when he asked me that question and I received how profound it was that I'm to parent myself. I said, every child, I would acknowledge them, I would listen to them, I would nurture them, and I would love them. So we are all in a correction zone in our life right now throughout the entire world, and we're all being hit. We're going to get hit more. I know this from my near death experience. I know, I don't remember what's coming specifically, but I know because meditation just a week ago told me, yeah, you're not through this yet. You haven't seen the worst of it, basically. And so it's so incredibly upsetting to watch people being killed for no reason anywhere in the world. And God was right when he said to me, um, after I watched these life reviews with Jesus, he said, you know, what did you watch? How did it make you feel? And I shared, and he said, so what are you going to do about it? And my immediate response was, well, what can I do about it? There's nothing I can do about it. It's already been done. And his response was, that's the problem with humanity. They don't do anything unless they're directly affected. So now, as I'm being directly affected, and not to say that I wasn't thinking this previously, but I didn't say anything previously to what's happening right now in the United States. I didn't know how to say anything because I was too concerned about the judgment that people would have on me, not understanding where I'm coming from. I'm coming from love. I'm not coming from a place where I'm trying to incite more negativity or downer type, depressive feelings. That's not it at all. I am really in a place now where it's like, all right, well, I'm not going to ignore what happened in my near death experience. I'm going to continue to talk about it. And I'm looking at what's continuing in the world right now. And people all around the world are using their voices. And I am so incredibly grateful that everyone is using their voice to correct the I'll say insurrection of love. So think about it. Love has been attacked over and over and over again. And now I'm not going to worry about people looking at me like, well, whatever. I don't even, you know what? I know who I am. And I know what I mean. I want the best for everyone. And I am going to keep speaking about this near death experience that I had, no matter what, because people need to know this is what we are basically watching happen right now, what I watched from heaven. And I don't want to see it get to full-blown situations in the world. I don't. I don't. So that's why I'm talking more about this. And that's why I'm like, I feel like I'm repeating myself and sharing my story more and more. And you have no idea how it's changed my life, my entire life. And it is so serious to take love seriously because no one, I don't care where you are in the world, no one deserves to suffer at the hands of those who cannot respect and treat others with kindness and treat others with integrity and acceptance. We have no business shutting people down, dividing people, separating people anymore. It's got to change. It's just got to shift. So I want us, and I don't cry. If you know me, I don't cry. I want us to recognize that we are each here for one another in our lives. We are each here to remind us on various levels and to varying degrees. And what I mean by that is what we experience in our lives. But there's something that's very out of alignment right now with what I know heaven wants us to be in, and that is in peace and harmony. So, as you know, throughout my life, I've always seen, all right, everybody's planning for a dystopia. Let's go get the AK-47s. Let's go, prepare for this and the bad stuff, on varying degrees. And why do we have to keep preparing for that? This is how I'm feeling now, that we need to require that each of us prepares for a utopia. Yeah, I said it. It's a utopia that we can have. There is there is choice behind everything, every decision that we make. And when we make our decisions from now on, we need to make decisions that are for the benefit of everyone. Because until we understand as a collective that we have to look out for each other and have atonement for one another, we cannot correct what's happening until we start working for everybody else. And I have seen this in heaven. I sat with all of these ascended masters, archangels, God and goddess, and not one of them sat there and said, hey, no, I've got the front row on this one. Oh no, it was me, hands down. I'm the one who came and spoke that. No, no, none of them did that because they all know, hey, we did what we could. That was our time period. This is how we stepped up. And enough people recognized them, such as Jesus and Prophet Muhammad and Krishna and Kali and Kuan Yin and Sitting Bull and White Eagle. These are incredible beings of love. And not one of them rejected me for being an atheist or white. And I was part of the 1% at God's table out of 77 of us, meaning that everybody had dark skin or were black, right? So brown and black. So it's very interesting. I'm watching all of this, not all, because I can't see all, but what I am watching, I'm just beside myself. There is no one who needs to suffer. I don't care. I don't care where you are in the world. My heart goes out to you, and my heart goes out to those in Gaza. My heart goes out to those in Israel. My heart goes out to those in Iran, in Afghanistan, in Venezuela, in everywhere, everywhere. I want us all to succeed and have the opportunity to witness peace and harmony in our lives and not be silenced. Because the trajectory that we are all on right now is that everyone's going to be silenced. And oh, for fuck's sake, that is not why we were born, to be silenced. No, no, it's not. It took me so many years to understand this, and it took a swift kick in my ass by God to get me into heaven, to pummel me with information and all of these experiences there in order to really comprehend how serious love is. So I really want everyone to stick together, as I'm also witnessing. People are coming together, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And it's peaceful protests. And I am so grateful that people are using their voices. And I am so grateful for every lamb that has been in this life. And I'm so sorry for all of your pain to those who are their family members and the children that are being taken away and the injustices of camps going on right now. This shouldn't be happening. So Until next time, may peace be upon you and may you not lose your voice. Don't allow anybody to take your voice. And I will say this because I teach this. Love is the energy. It's the L, the light within. It's organic. We are each organic to one another. The V is for voice, our voices. And our voices start at the moment of our thought's inception. And that E is for echo. I want us all to echo as our highest self. I want us all to echo as love for one another because that's really what we can do. It's just, we just have to choose it and make it happen and correct the courses that are happening throughout. And we do have that power. Love is the power that we need. And love heals everything, everything. So until next time, may peace be upon you. And I love you. And I want you to tell everybody that you love them too, because everyone needs to be acknowledged, heard, nurtured, and loved.